Today's video is sponsored by Legend of Keepers, now live on Kickstarter. Legend of Keepers is a 5e compatible series of 4 unique reverse dungeons, inspired by the Legend of Keepers video game by Goblin Studio. Building on the video game's ingenious theme of a monster-driven company, defending its net worth of dungeons from marauding heroes, this campaign fully creates a 5e experience, in which players can decide if they'd rather play each dungeon as heroes or monsters, or both, even going so far as competing against each other. Expand your gaming library. Legend of Keepers is a massive super campaign book with more than 300 pages, including unique settings, playable heroes and monsters, event cards, and 4 customizable dungeons that can be defended by the notorious monster companies, or delved by heroic adventures, spanning 2nd through 9th level, all in incredible 5e mechanics. Seriously, there's just so much here. As amazing as the campaigns are, the miniatures are incredible. Hundreds of super high-quality miniature STLs, and over 200 STLs from Stonecraft Dungeon Lazy Squire Games' new line of 3D printable terrains. This is a Kickstarter you don't want to miss. Link in the description below. And now, what you're here for. Christianity causes player to quit the D&D campaign. I recently started to get back into D&D this year after taking an extended break. Fair warning, this is a rant as well. Over the summer, I had a former classmate of mine reach out to me saying that she was going to DM a D&D campaign and wondered if I wanted to join. I said yeah, so I get invited into a Discord server with 4 other people including the DM. 5 minutes later, I get personally messaged by one of the other members of the server. This is my first encounter with the problem player. We can call her Lucy. This message wasn't a hi or a welcome or anything like that. It was an out-of-the-blue question. Lucy, are you religious? Me, hello? Why are you asking? Lucy, I need to know for the D&D campaign. Me, I'm curious as to why my religious status would be relevant to D&D. Lucy, would you please just answer the question? Me, okay, yes, I am religious. Lucy, what religion? Me, Christianity. Lucy, what type? Me, I don't have a denomination. Lucy, what does that mean? Me, it means I follow the New Testament and the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in God. But I don't go to churches or follow specific doctrines that denominations have. Lucy, isn't that just Protestant? Me, no, I don't go to Protestant churches or follow their specific doctrines. Lucy, okay. And that was that. I was pretty suspicious of the ordeal, but eventually dropped it. I would later learn that she asked everyone in the group the same question, and they all happened to answer as being non-religious. I don't want to call them atheists, as they didn't describe themselves that way. I ended up letting the DM know what happened. DM and Lucy have been friends for a long time, and she explains to me that Lucy has been harassed by religious people in the past because of her sexuality and political views. This genuinely upset me. I can't speak for other religious groups, but it is my personal belief that any true follower of Christianity would know not to treat others poorly due to things like this. So I sent a message to Lucy the next day. Me, hey Lucy, I'm reaching out because DM told me about your troubles with religious people in the past. I'm sorry that you were treated that way. We aren't all like that, I promise. I'm definitely not like that. I truly don't care about your race, religion, sexuality, or political standing, and I hope to prove that in the upcoming time we will be spending with the others. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. In the event that I do end up doing something that upsets you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me about it. I didn't get a response, and I wasn't expecting one, so I let the matter rest. Apparently, this was the wrong move, because a few hours later I get a message from the DM. DM, hey OP, did you send some hateful messages to Lucy? Me, no. DM, well, she just texted me saying that you were saying she wasn't emotionally stable enough to handle religious people, and that you were here to offer advice on how to do so. What? I was fairly confused and sent a screenshot of our Discord chat. DM said she was also confused and would look into it. I thank her for checking in with me rather than flat out believing her and go about my day. The next day I get another message from DM, explaining that Lucy is going through some tough times and took it out on you. Now I get that life can be really SH sometimes. It can be easy to let it get to you, but taking it out on others is not okay. If you do take it out on someone else, that person deserves an apology. They were treated unfairly over something they had nothing to do with and no control over. Did I get an apology? No. DM said she was sorry she acted that way, and I was thankful for that, but it wasn't DM's fault. Lucy was in the wrong. Oh well, moving on. Session 0 rolls around and we all meet up over a Discord call. Now I like to cater to the needs of the party when I make my characters. I like to fill in roles that we lack. Our party so far consisted of a rogue, a wizard, and a warlock. I quickly hit up a friend of mine who had lots of D&D experience and asked what he would go for. He told me that the party was lacking a tank and a healer, so a paladin would be a solid choice. I've never played paladin before, but figured it was the best choice. The exact details of every character aren't really important, except for the fact that my character was a lawful good paladin of Bahamut. We finished session 0, and the DM makes a folder with all our character sheets that are accessible to everyone. I was interested in my fellow party members' characters and looked over them all. The wizard and the sorcerer were fairly good characters, but have nothing significant to the story. Our rogue, which happens to be Lucy's character, had a very interesting backstory and personality traits. Let's just say, to summarize, her rogue was a woman who was abused and enslaved by a religious cult, and was now a very anti-religious person. Here is one of her quotes under her notable quotes from my characters section. Not kidding, that was an actual section she made in her character notes. Religious people, especially religious warriors, are utter idiots. They will never amount to anything if I can help it, and deserve to be taken advantage of. Okay, I had a feeling that this was all to spite me. I have no issue with anti-religious people or characters. I was even pretty hopeful that this could be a potentially good fun thing for RP and party relation developments. However, the fact that she specifically mentioned religious warriors, which is basically what a paladin is, didn't sit right with me. I expressed this to the DM and she took note of it. The next day we roll into session 1. Our characters were on a large commercial vessel carrying a large number of passengers to another contingent. During one night of the voyage, we're ambushed and boarded by pirates. Each party member separately fights to defend themselves. During the chaos, the ship crashes along a rock and is torn apart. Our party ends up being washed ashore on a body of land. This is how our characters meet and band together for survival purposes. We get around to me, and when I mention my character's deity, Lucy interrupts us out of character. Lucy: I thought you were Christian, OP. Me: yes. Lucy: so shouldn't your deity be God? Me: why would he be? Lucy: isn't it against your religion to believe in other gods? Me: I don't believe in Bahamut. My fantasy character does. Lucy: God is fantasy, sweetie. Me: you and I disagree on that. Even if he was, he isn't in any of the D&D books. Lucy: you can homebrew him, couldn't you? Me: if I wanted to, yes, but I don't want to. This is a fake character set in a fake universe. I don't need or want to homebrew the Christian God in D&D. What are you trying to get from all this? Lucy: oh, nothing. Sorry for interrupting. The DM tries to roll over the conversation that just occurred, but there was a certain awkwardness to the rest of the session. I was fairly annoyed at Lucy for challenging my character's compatibility with my religious values, but was more annoyed at the fact that she disrupted the session just to do so. Why? What was there to gain from that? I send a message to the DM stating that what she did wasn't okay. DM said she would talk to her about it. The next session rolls up and we continued our journey. Throughout our adventure, we find out we're on an inhabited island. There was a city that was divided into 6 districts. Each district leader made up a circle of counselors that governed the city. When we arrive at the city, we're greeted by the religious counselor, who happened to also be a follower of Bahamut. The counselor announced that she heard about a recent nearby shipwreck and was organizing a rescue party until she heard of our party's arrival. DM explained that our characters' ragtag and beat-up look after surviving the crash was a dead giveaway that we were some survivors. She further explained that she was relieved we were all right, and offered us shelter at the Temple of Bahamut, where she also ensured that we would be taken care of. My character has a backstory revolving around being fairly untrustworthy of others. I announced that I don't trust this person, and wish to check for signs of deceit. DM: sure, roll insight and DM me your roll. Me: 17. DM: okay. She DMs me this message. Yeah, you notice her eyes have trouble meeting any of yours and her feet shuffle with her speech. Lucy out loud and out of character again. He didn't succeed, did he? DM: I can't say. It's up to him to reveal if he did later on when your party has some more privacy. Lucy: well, if he did, he shouldn't. Religious people aren't mentally developed enough to question their superiors. There's no realistic way he would have been untrustworthy of a religious leader of Bahamut's teachings. Me: look, do you have an issue playing with me? This is the second time now you've spoken up about inconsistency with my character and religion. Lucy: hey, calm down. How old are we? Don't attack me like that. Me: what are you talking about? I just asked you a question. Lucy: can we end the session here? I don't feel safe right now. DM: okay. We end the session there and I feel completely lost. I end up chatting with the DM and the other players over Discord. They all seem fairly confused about the ordeal. We come to the conclusion that Lucy needs to be confronted about this either by the DM privately or with everyone before we start the next session. During the next week, the DM tells us that she'll talk to Lucy about her behavior. Okay, cool. Hopefully that'll sort itself out. It didn't sort itself out. In the next session, we get a chance for our characters to converse with each other. My character tells the others he has reason to doubt the integrity of the religious counselor. Lucy in character. No way you noticed something like that. Me. Her gaze seemed to trail away from ours, and her feet shuffled with her words. Lucy. You're a brainwashed pawn, a paladin of all things. You don't question, you just use your brawn to keep your owner in charge. Me. You may choose not to heed my warning, but do not cry to me when facing the consequences. Lucy just laughs and the DM ushers us to move on. When we approached the temple, we were offered shelter. I repeated my warning. The party agreed that we shouldn't trust these people and find some other way to get shelter. Lucy, however, tries to convince the party to have me stay at the temple by myself without any justification. We overrule her and she goes quiet. We got about another 10 minutes when suddenly a group of religious men and women approach our party. They try and tell us that we would be safe at the temple, and plead for us to come back to stay. Lucy once again announces that my character should believe them. I was very close to speaking out again, but the DM spoke first. DM, we've already been over this, Lucy. Stop bringing this up. Lucy, I don't think you have a strong enough understanding of how religious people work or think. DM, I don't think you have a strong enough understanding that this is my campaign and I make the rules. I don't care about how you think all religious people act, but I can tell you it isn't accurate. Now stop trying to tell me who should and should not pass checks. Lucy, so are you taking his side now? DM, it isn't a side. You're being disruptive and rude. I think OP can agree that what you've been doing has been incredibly disrespectful too. Me, yes I do. I don't care what your personal views on religion are, but that doesn't give you the right to disrespect the views of others. Lucy, now he's pushing his religious views on me. How are you going to just let him do that? Me, how am I pushing any of my religious views on you? I think the rule on disrespect applied to most situations. If anything, you've been pushing your views of religious people on me and the rest of the group. You'll keep wasting our time and no one here appreciates it. Lucy leaves the Discord voice channel and then leaves the server. I thank the DM for having my back and we continue the session. The next day, the DM brings to my attention that Lucy's been ranting a downright untrue version of the story to the people in another server they're both part of. According to her, I forced the D&D game to be a Christian game. I furthermore tried to attack and kill the other characters due to their sexuality. And as a cherry on top, I apparently labeled her character as a witch, and tried to kill her because I was jealous of her character's obvious higher intelligence. I didn't care so much about a bunch of people I don't know believing I was some religious fanatic, but she then tried to pressure the DM for my name and apartment location. I don't know for sure why, but I doubt it was anything benevolent. DM and I blocked her, and DM also left that server. We continued to play D&D with the remainder of the group, and eventually finished the campaign around August. And that's all. Thank you for listening. Talk about unhinged. Don't bring your crazy prejudices into D&D. Tell us about your crazy player moments in the comments below.